Asmongold got banned on Twitch. Is this true? Is it really? He actually got banned? No shit. Banned for a week, really? Really, let's see.
Guys, I got suspended on Twitch in the middle of my Crimson Desert playthrough. I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do. It's gonna be an entire week. I mean, geez, guys. I'm gonna have so much free time.
Wait, is that you Stola? That looks like you used Stola ahead. The Alliance. You got Chocobos here. I think these are Pokemon.
Well, I guess I could start by making this video, right? So, I got suspended last night on Twitch. I end my stream, and I come back from the gas station, and I get a message, and somebody says, why can't I chat in your stream? And I'm like, well, I don't know what happened. And I look, and I get a message, and it says that my account has been suspended for
what'd you do?
7 days
What'd you do?
Because of hateful conduct. So, this is what I...
You're a hateful guy, Asmongold. You out here talking all kinds of shit. Asmongold out here talking all kinds of shit. You're being a hateful guy. Twitch is like, no more Asmongold. Dude, that's kind of crazy. Like, let's be real, right? For Twitch, the ban, probably their biggest streamer. For a dude that, no, I don't know what he said yet. I'm not sure what he said. But a lot of the shit he says is kind of just speaking fact, right? Like, a lot of his stuff is clipped out of context, right? Like, someone will take something he says and like find the worst part of it or something that doesn't make sense and like use it out of context. But some Twitch admins, I don't think it's, see, I think it's a part of this new generation. I think it's the new generation of workers are very lazy, right? I think the new generation of workers are very lazy, and it's very apparent in like our infrastructure now, right? So the things to keep society running is falling apart because the generation is just so lazy, right? I think that's kind of where we're at. Morning, Spidey. How's it going, dude?
I did. This is what I said. I said that I didn't give a fuck about the opinions of third worlders, and then particularly in the thing that they reference, I was referring to illiterate goat herders from Afghanistan.
Again, the way this looks out in the public is not a United States.
The opinions of third worlders don't matter. Like, I don't care what some illiterate goat herder thinks in Afghanistan. It doesn't matter. In the
I mean, I don't think in context or out of context he's kind of wrong there, right? Like, you shouldn't care about everyone's opinion.
Context of those people believing AI generated videos about Iran winning the war and nuking Israel off the map. Gentlemen, I would like to confirm that I am 100% right and you don't either. And neither do they. Because if Twitch cares about their opinions, why don't they apply Afghanistan's opinions to women on Twitch? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? But everybody knows nobody gives a fuck about them. Nobody cares. I'm not sorry. I'm right. I said nothing wrong, and nothing I said was against the terms of service. Beyond that, do you even imagine a world where somebody that says they don't care about
He's
what
doubling down,
thinks about the Middle East? Can you imagine that this person ever gets suspended? Of course not.
He has some woke qualities, but he's nowhere near as woke as Francis. Francis was a socialist. This motherfucker is an American. And I think Americans are gross. Americans do not have a understanding of the world. America-fying anything is going to be bad.
Isn't this the guy that zaps his dog? Wasabi or whatever his name is? This San fucking... Isn't this dude an animal abuser? Why do you have a head on your wall? You seem like a
Kids
fucking
have
weirdo.
very limited understanding of the universe.
And so why am I getting suspended? It's more third worldist morality logic inversion that basically is being used to silence me for an entire week. That's the important part that I want to talk about here. It's because basically Twitch has a system where they say that your infractions or your bad actions expire within 1 year. Well, the last time I was suspended, well, we all remember the last time I was suspended, but that was in October 2024. I have not been suspended for over an entire year. Why does that matter? Well, it matters because they say it matters. It matters because they say that's whenever the infractions expire and your account is treated as not being in bad standing. So why is it in that case that instead of getting a warning, instead of getting a suspension, instead of getting for a day, instead of getting a suspension for 3 days, I immediately went from that all the way to a 7-day suspension immediately? Why would this happen? What is the reason for it?
That's true. Their terms of service says you need to be within a year of good standing, and then your account kind of gets like reset, right? But again, I think a lot of stuff on, like, I think Twitch is a good platform. I think what's managing and what's kind of running Twitch is there's some bad apples in the Twitch company. I think the company and I think the service that Twitch gives is very good. I think the opportunities that Twitch offers are very good. I think the company has been hijacked by some soft woke agenda, right? I think that's what's going on. Now I can't know. There was no way I would know. I don't work for Twitch. I only stream on the platform. But I believe that's what's going on, right? And this happens to every generation, right? The generation before me, and I don't mean the generation before, right? Because it's always 2 generations after, right? So within the span of 15 to 20 years, so people that are like being in my mid 30s, people in their early 20s, so 10 years, 10 to 15 years, the 15 years, that 10 to 15 year generation is when that generation underneath you really don't agree with its older generation, right? So, and then there's friction. So I think that's what's happening right now. The generation under us and the generation and a half that's under us right now really feels like they have something to prove, which is why they're stressed all the time. That's why they look older than us. Society is harder. It's and the thing is, society isn't really necessarily harder. Life has been easy. Like, life has been the easiest it's been in years, decades. But they have no war to fight, right? They have no war to fight. They have no big movement to stand behind. So now they're generating problems, right? The mind is so bored, it's creating its own issues to fight, right? And that's bad. I think that's what's happening right now.
I have no idea. Is it because they don't like what I'm saying? It has to be, because it's certainly not because what I'm saying is against the terms of service. I looked at the terms of service. Yes, using nationality is a protected group, but I was not talking about them being disregarded because of nationality. I was talking about them being disregarded because of the fact that they're watching literal AI-generated videos and then believing a false narrative. And the video's context was about, would you rather be having likes on Twitter or having your entire Navy not destroyed?
Do you think that the Iranians would rather have their entire Navy back or their memes?
Oh.
Jeez, guys, I wonder. And so anyway, this is what's...
They would for sure want their Navy back. Yeah, we saw the same thing around the 50s and 60s, right? but the thing is, what we're experiencing right now is nowhere near what happened in the 50s and 60s, right? Nowhere near what happened in the 50s and 60s. So, because like in the 50s and the 60s, the 70s, like they all have their thing, right? Like this is the start of like you have like the 2000s, 2010s all have something. Right now it's 2020s, right? So, every 10 years, the at least the start of the like that series of 10 years, there's going to be some drama, right? So, like, which is kind of weird because right now we're halfway through 26, right? So you would hope by 2030 everything kind of mellows out, but I don't think that's what I don't think that's what's going to happen, to be completely honest. I think what's going to happen is um right now it's a generation of gas and sparks, and you have another generation that is underneath us, that's underneath them, that they've done studies that white brain matter is is not being developed in children, right? Due to iPads and screen time, and there's no critical thinking. So life is going to get harder. Like people think like things are hard now. People think there are things you can't say and you can't do now. Things are going to get harder, right? Before things get better, things are going to get harder. But within the next 10 years, things are going to get harder, right? And like you will have third world countries and first world countries going to war and fighting because the first world countries are bored and the third world countries want to improve quality of life, and there will be a clash there, right? There is going to be a clash there, and I think that's what we're building up to in society. And these things like punishing and banning and muting uh people's comments is just the start of like not having tolerance, and which is bad, right? Now, I don't agree with everything Asmongold says. I agree with some things. And there's some things I disagree with, but by no means do I think he's an idiot. I don't think I think he's actually a very smart man. Realistically, I think he has a bad reputation. I think he's a loud person, and that's the thing, right? You also need to remember, Asmongold is by cultural design an American. He's loud. He's traditional. He's a patriot, and like he has a lot of pride in his country, right? Asmongold is a very traditional American, right? Especially where he's from, right? Where he's from, which I believe is Texas, is a very loud part of the world, right? Now that doesn't make him a bad person, right? Muting the people you disagree with will give you no growth, right? So like there are things I disagree with him, there are things I agree with him, but I think muting his right to say whatever he wants to say, good or bad, I think is a path of destruction we really don't want to go down, right? Because like if you start doing that to people, you're not controlling speech. If you can control the speech of people, you're going to control actions, right? Because if you're controlling the way people speak, you're saying you want to control how people think, which is a very bad thing, right? We don't want to go down that path. That's not a, every historical event that a culture or a country has done that has been very bad, where you control the way people think and speak, or you can punish the way someone speaks or the way someone thinks. If you can punish them, and eventually it gets pretty extreme, it's always leaded to bad things, right? And hopefully uh things kind of correct themselves. But I think it's going to be in the next two generations that's going to push this, right? So the generation right under us, that's like in their early 20s right now, just going into the workforce, wanting to filter and silence and mute certain things. I think that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? The generation right after them is going to be even worse, and that's when it can get into some serious trouble. But let's see what else he has to say.
What's happened is that I have been suspended for an entire week for that. That's it. And I'll play the clip for you guys, okay? And this is, by the way, there's not a 100% certainty with this, that this is the clip, but this is the thing that they quoted from, and it's the thing that they gave me an example of. And I will say also, by the way, my contacts and relationship with Twitch on an interpersonal level has been nothing but tremendous. I have great respect for the people that I've dealt with Twitch.
Mhm,
I have no actual animosity towards those
Mhm.
people. So just make sure that you guys understand that. Don't shoot the messenger or anything like that. It's the moderation team and the people that decided that I did something wrong. And
Yeah.
maybe they made a mistake. Well, I know they made a mistake, but maybe they'll recognize that and I'll get an unban early. And if they didn't, I guess, well, I mean, and here's the annoying thing, right? Is like, well, if Trump nukes Iran, which it seems like that's getting more likely every day, then I'm going to have to go live on go live on Kick and Rumble, right? Maybe on YouTube too. I prefer just to do Kick and Rumble. It's a copyright thing, right? It's a confusing, content creator reason.
Yeah,
But, like,
streaming
we'll
YouTube and everything
continue
else
uploading
gets you in
videos,
kind
and
of
if
trouble.
something big happens, don't worry, I'll be there, and you'll have a way to watch me, and, it'll be all back to usual. But I would like to take at least a little bit of time and, like maybe fix a little bit of things in my life and just relax a little bit. But if something big happens, do not worry, I will be there. And I might make a couple of other videos in the meantime, just because I'll be bored. But going back to what I was saying, is
I see
that
that, yeah.
I have been suspended for this. And really, let me talk about, like, really how I feel about this. Do I give a fuck about the opinions of a bunch of third worlders in regards to what my country should do? Absolutely fucking not. I do not.
Yeah, see, and that's a very like patriotic thing to say, and I don't think he's wrong. I'll be honest. Like I said, there's things I agree with, there's things I don't agree with. I don't think he's wrong, right? Caring what another country says and does. Like you shouldn't let you shouldn't let another country dictate how your country is run, right? They have their own country to work on, especially if it's like if it's an undeveloped country trying to say how a developed country should operate. Like, come on, right? That's like, imagine a factory just bringing in children and listening to what children have to say on how to run that factory, right? An established factory, let's say it's Toyota or Chevy, like these like big car company, Tesla. Let's say like, then again, Tesla, depending on who you ask, they think Tesla is owned by a child, but mind you, he's a very smart man to a degree, right? Elon's, we're not gonna into it, but anyways, let's say you took children, right? And I mean children, people that are no older than like 7, right? So you took people that could barely speak English, put them in a professional setting like Tesla, and tell them to run the company. They can't do the math right. They can't do the engineering right. They can't do the management of people right. They can't even manage like resources, like buying a resource, the cost. Like they couldn't manage getting everyone paid, right? So if you took children, gave them Tesla, Tesla would collapse, right? You should not like or like giving children the ages of like between 2 to 7, letting them run a country, right? Let's say we took and not even the children of that country, right? Let's say we took children from Canada, right? Canada has a decently high IQ. Like we do. I think Canada's IQ is at least top 5, at least top 5. And we took the children of Canada. We sent the children between the ages of 2 and 7 over to Britain, and we gave the keys to Britain to children of Canada, and like, you can run this country, Britain would fall apart. Come on, right? Like, now I'm not saying third world countries are all children. That's not what I'm saying. But like, because like what I'm giving you is an extreme example. But you don't do that, right? You don't take an uneducated third world country that cannot run its own country and let it dictate how your country is run. I agree with what he is saying here.
You shouldn't. They shouldn't give a fuck about what I think about their country. Because why would I take somebody's opinion that is from a shithole in these countries? And by the way, these are shitholes. Many of these countries are shitholes. And don't let anybody teach you or tell you that, oh, it's America's fault. No, it's not. The ones that America has invaded are shitholes. The ones that America hasn't invaded or Britain hasn't invaded, they're shitholes too. They're shitholes because the people made them shitholes. And
it's the culture.
I talk about third worlders and third worldism, I'm not even really talking about a geography. I'm talking about an ideology. And that ideology is the idea that disrespect should be met with violence.
Yeah.
The idea that, you know, crime, dysfunction, discord, and chaos in society should be expected. They're part and parcel of living in a modern city.
No,
and,
it's
people,
it's crazy.
like, oh, well, you can't say certain things because they might offend people, or they'll make them mad. The idea that getting angry about something is a justification to break the law. This is what I'm really talking about with third worldism. Things that the Greeks in it, or the Greeks, the Romans, we figured this out in Western society and Western culture. We've realized that you can't run a society whenever you have people that act this way.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's actually a good thing to not.
It's the whole thing. Like, if you have a few bad apples, right? The rot of a bad apple will ruin a barrel of apples, right? You have to get rid of like the rot, right? And sometimes the rot is misbehaving. But you don't take the whole barrel and blow it to fucking shit, right? No.
Not have a bunch of crazy fence zombies on the street. It's actually a good thing to have people that aren't living on the sidewalk. It's actually a good thing to have a, civilized discussion that doesn't resort to violence whenever you hear something that makes you angry. But for some people,
it's true, and there are places in the world where just your gender and your sexuality will get you fucking killed for saying hello, right? Like, there are some countries, I won't name the country, I won't name the culture. There are some countries with a certain culture, if a woman is not with a man and she says hello to another man, she will be fucking killed or stoned, right? There are certain parts in the world, if the woman is not covered up from head to toe and she goes outside, she will be brutally killed, right? That exists, and that's not right. It's not how the world should run. So it's like, we shouldn't be listening to people that believe in this, like this idea of this is how society behaves, right? We don't take advice from people like that.
This is the third worldist mindset. It is the aggrandizement of the base interests, the base desires, and the lowest common denominator of mankind. And you know what? I don't like it. I don't want it here. And guess what? They don't either. If Twitch thinks Afghanistan has such great opinions that should be listened to, maybe they should apply Afghanistan's opinions to women on Twitch. How about that? But they won't, because they also agree with me too. I just was the one that said it, but everybody thinks this. And I have nothing, by the way. Oh, I said illiterate. They have 37% literacy. Flip a coin, I'm right. So the point is that really, they all do agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody agrees with me on this. And if you're a guy from Afghanistan, you're watching, I don't know, I'm sure we've got a number of them. We've got a lot of people that watch the show. Listen, man, I'm not talking about you, but you know that there's some idiots in your country that are morons. I'm talking about them. And by the way, we have those same third worldists. We have those same fucking retards in America. Being a third worlder and being a third worldist, yes, it's a geography, but it's more importantly a mindset.
Yeah.
These people have that mindset, and I don't want to have it. I don't want to deal with it. I think it's destructive, it's reductive, and I want to have nothing to do with it. So that's really the way that I feel about this, right? You know, these people talk about the Epstein files. They have their own Epstein files. It's called the marriage records. It's called Tuesday. They have child marriage. It's legal. I don't want to have that here. I don't want to have anything to do with that here. So all that being said, I don't want to go through and talk about that too much. What am I going to do? And just very clearly, by the way, I was very surprised by this. I was very surprised by this suspension. I thought it was going to be for like 20 of the other things that I said, right? I mean, I thought it'd be for like, you know, I don't want to give them any ideas, because I did submit an appeal. I submitted an appeal, and, you know, I told them, like, and the thing is that if they tell me you can't refer to third worlders in a derogatory context, I hate to say it, you know, I don't take off my shoes whenever I walk in my own house. Somebody else asks me to walk in their house. They tell me to take off my shoes. I do it. I'm not in my own house. I will follow Twitch's terms of service begrudgingly, and you guys will know that I absolutely do not agree with it, and these are my viewpoints, but I will follow the rules, and I have always taken a good faith effort to always follow the terms of service. If there's a dick that we show on stream, well, it must be that day of the week. And on top of that, they've complained to me about that too, by the way. And if I do that, I delete the VOD and I try to move past it, and I apologize. I say, oops, guys, that's my bad. I didn't mean to do that. I don't actually ever intend to break the terms of service. Why would I ever do that? Why would I ever put myself in a position where I intentionally do something that I think would put my channel at risk? It's just stupid. Why would
it's respect, right?
So
you're showing respect to who's hosting you.
I think that I've made it, and considering the content of my, you know, like my stream, I cover extremely edgy content. I talk about things like, you know, I talk about the most politically charged, most extreme issues on a daily basis in plain English, just, you know, as a matter of fact. And really, I think that in order to do that and not have a million bad clips that have, you know, been released about me, there's only 500,000. There's the reality that I do try a very good amount to try to control what I say, to make sure that what I say does not break the terms of service. And I try to say what I say with a degree of, you know, like, I guess, like I'm thinking about what I'm saying, right? I'm not just, you know, going extemporaneously right off the cuff. I mean, to an extent I am, but I'm editing it in my mind to make sure that I don't say anything that would get me in trouble on Twitch.
Being mindful.
So
being mindful of what he's saying,
I didn't think
for
I
sure.
said anything wrong. And by reading the TOS, I don't think the TOS says that I said anything wrong. And the reality is that if you applied the reason why I got suspended to anybody applying this same type of language against Westerners, against Americans, against anybody in a...
What's getting scary, and like this is something like I've thought about and I've worried about for a few months now, is terms of service is going down a very, very slippery path. And the thing is, terms of service and filtering and censoring what you're allowed to say and not allowed to say is becoming blurred, right? So, because rules are changing, right? People are evolving. We're supposed to be getting better. Unfortunately, the data shows that we're, for the first time in almost 100 years, the generation under us has gotten stupider, which that sucks. But it is what it is. There can be a path of correction. I think what's getting scary about terms of service is everyone is starting to get very good at legal term and legal talk. And that is a scary thing, because now, if you have people that cannot read and write properly, trying to blur the lines of law, it's going to make things very messy, right? And I think that's also kind of what's happening. You have people that do not understand the language, that speak it and write it because they can't speak and write it properly. So they're basing law off of what feels right or what feels wrong. So now you have fact being challenged by emotion. And I'm not saying there isn't a place for either of them. I, however, get worried because now terms of like if what Asmongold is saying is true, that he is being punished and he didn't break terms of service and he just upset someone's feelings, and the right person at the right time dealt with his case and punished him. They punished him based off of a feeling of being offended by him. And what gets scary is if you are blurring terms of service, if you're blurring the law, you're eventually going to start blurring the perception of what is consensual to say and what is consensual to do, right? That's scary, and people need to realize that, right? People are beginning to blur what they feel is consensual to say and do. That blurred line can get very messy, right? Because we have laws that state if someone is too drunk to consent to anything, that is statutory, like assault, right? What happens if these lines also start to get blurred, right? This is a bad path, right? It's like, oh, well, we've dated for this long and it's okay, we've done it before, but that's not the case. That's not how that works, right? But depending on who gets it and who feels about it is going to change how that applies now. They're not going to take law into consideration. They're going to take how they feel in consideration. So how they feel is going to completely void out law, and that's not good. We have laws for a reason. We have things worded for a reason, right? Things happen black and white for a reason, right? And right now people are going with the different shades of gray, which is very dangerous.
A developed country, you know that not only would it not be banned, it would probably be celebrated. So I think this is a massive double standard. It's completely unfair. I was unfairly targeted. I'm not sorry for any of it. And I'll be waiting for Twitch's apology for unbanning me. And if it takes them a couple of days, that's fine. If it takes them an entire week, I guess I'll have to finish Crimson Desert. But the reality is that I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I regret nothing. And according to their own rules, I also did nothing wrong. So all this put into context, that's pretty much where things stand. That's where we're at. I'm not really stressed out about this. Honestly, I'm kind of excited. I feel like we've been in a little bit of a lull period, right? That's why I've been trying to do, like, oh, I'll do the ban appeals. I'll do, like, the Jesus game, right? And, you know, all that. And I'll be honest, what really spurred me to make a comment about it last night is that I saw on Reddit, people thought that I got banned for showing a horse's dick on stream. And I was like, this is the stupidest narrative. I have to correct this because it's so ridiculous that I don't want people to believe this. People are also saying I got
banned for showing a horse dick.
I don't know. Maybe that was the reason. Maybe there's an enlightened Reddit atheist in the moderation team. But that's the reason they gave me. They said hateful conduct for 1 week. I put in my appeal. Hopefully I'll get it approved. I did nothing wrong. I apologize for nothing. I said nothing wrong. The clip is shown. Millions of people, not millions, many people say a lot of things that are a lot worse than what I say, and nothing ever happens to them. And I think it was totally unfair that something happened to me. All that being said, I recognize if that's what Twitch doesn't want me to say, I won't.
Yeah. Here's the thing is, and he's right. He is right. There are thousands and thousands of people that are streaming that are saying things far worse than him, right? As people are streaming right now, there's people breaking TOS. I can open up any stream right now, and I guarantee I open up a stream right now and someone is breaking TOS. A smaller streamer or someone that's like a nobody streamer, and they're breaking TOS, right? And they're probably breaking more than one. There's probably some racial in there. There's probably some sexist shit. There's people playing like. There's people that are advertising cheating. Like there was one person that I found, and it's my wife streams cozy games, and it was a Disney game, and there's a certain way to. I'm not sure of all the details, but there's a certain way in Disney Dreamlight Valley that you can screw with the coding so it drops certain things, or like it gives you more than normal, which is like you're breaking and cheating in the game. And that's against Twitch's TOS, right? You can't do that, right? Like if I'm playing Call of Duty and I have aimbot or I have like all kinds of shit like that, you can't do it, right? Like that is part of TOS. But this person is streaming them generating components or materials or items for people, and the stream is all about show up in chat, ask for certain things, and they give it to you. The stream is purely based off of cheating, right? But here's the thing, who it's based on exposure, right? Are there people doing things worse than him? Yes, there are, but he is an example to thousands of people, right? Millions even, right? Like as of right now, as things stand, his subscriber base is 4.49 million subscribers, right? So he influences. Now some of them might be the double subscribers or some shit like that, but on the safe end, always assume 25% of someone's following is actual true following, right? I'm not saying Asmongold only has 25% of his followers are actual real followers. I don't think he's a person that like has bots. Like there are a lot of comments about this guy, like everywhere, like politicians talk about him. He is well known. And that's the thing. The things that he's saying is on a such a larger scope, right? So like Twitch, even though there are worse things being said, Twitch will use its leaders as being an example, right? It's like how we expect our politicians to lead by example. Twitch is expecting Asmongold to lead by example, right? He's in a position to be a good force on Twitch. So any minor thing, they're gonna nail him for it, right? Is it fully fair? No, he's not being treated as an equal, right? Because there are people doing worse shit, but he's the example that Twitch is like we have a safe space for like everyone in all areas. So all air like on an even playing board, this is a good person. Like Asmongold is a person that like we can stand behind, that we are going to stream. We're going to let stream. We're going to let him have a platform, and we want him to bring people in, and he follows the TOS. And for the most part, and it seems like he wants to, right? So when he doesn't, Twitch is like, fuck, we cannot let him have a pass, because if we let him have a pass, anyone under him doing bigger offenses, that's just a minor streamer, they're gonna be like, well, you let your big players get away with it, why can't I get away with it, right? So they unfortunately, like, he comes with a heavier hammer than what a smaller streamer deals with, right? Like he has a heavier weight that he needs to carry as a streamer than like some smaller streamer like myself, right?
Won't say it, just please explain the vocabulary I'm not supposed to use, and I won't use that vocabulary. I'll just think it. So anyway, thank you guys
I'll just
very
think
much
it.
for watching. I really appreciate everybody's support. I know a lot of you guys have been on Twitter and everything. You guys can share the video, let people know kind of like where I'm coming from, what's going on. But other than that, that's about all I've got, guys. So that's where things stand. That's where I'm at. I'm sorry that, I got suspended. Now it's like, okay, this is complicated. It might ruin some people's schedule. They're like, oh, where's Baldy, right? And,
Where's Baldy?
Again, if something big happens, I will be back on, and I'll stream on Kick or Rumble. But if things
That's
are
right.
just kind of
When was he?
usual
He was talking about
hysteria,
shaving his head.
News cycle, I think I'll probably just relax. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, Twitch will realize what they've done wrong, and they will undo their mistake. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me for all these years and for everything. And I'll see you all very soon. I'll talk to you later, guys. Peace.
I mean, I think he dealt with it pretty humbly, right? Yeah, meanwhile Hassan, let their guts spill, let the streets run red. Yeah, this dude is like constantly pushing for violence, right? But that's not what this is about, right? Like think of it. Hassan is as a nobody compared to Asmongold. Like Hassan only this dude is only getting popular because he's a shit human being. The world thinks his point of views are super fucking kind of shitty, right? And he's targeting Asmongold as like he believes he's on the same platform or better than Asmongold, right? Like he's in a pissing contest with himself. This dude is pissing into a tornado and he's standing in the middle of it, just getting a shower in his own piss. That's Hassan right now, right? But he believes he's the tornado. He believes he's this great force that he's pissing into, and he's just getting covered in piss.